Hello, folks. We're just going to give it a minute or two, let some of the others log in, and then we'll get going with the webinar. I think we can get started, right?
All right.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of our Just Ask Jeeves webinar series. I'm Mate Mulets, Senior Director of Client Services here at 314E. Today, we're going to dive into Jeeves' 2025 upgrades, showing you exactly how to leverage these new AI-powered features. And whether you're a longtime user of Jeeves or new to the platform, you'll leave with practical tips to accelerate your HR training. And so before we begin, a couple of quick housekeeping items. This session is being recorded and the link will be sent to you afterwards. And if you have any questions, feel free to submit them and we'll gladly answer those during our live Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. Let me start with a brief introduction to 314E for those of you who might be new. We are a Silicon Valley headquartered health IT company with 20 years of experience in EHR implementations, data migration, training, interoperability, analytics, and plenty more. And so 5 years ago, we expanded into software with our flagship product being Jeeves, the AI-powered just-in-time EHR training platform that you're going to see here today. And now I'm pleased to introduce our presenter, Casey Post, who is our Senior VP of Sales and Client Services. Casey has decades of client-facing experience and works very closely with our product and customer teams to deliver exactly what you need. And he's going to be joined on our Q&A panel by Anushil Singh, who is our product and technology lead for Jeeves. Anushil brings deep technical expertise and a user-centric approach to ensure that our AI solutions truly move that needle for your EHR training. That's all from me. Thanks again, folks. Casey, over to you.
All right. Thanks for that intro, Mate, and welcome everyone. For those of you who are new to Jeeves, I think most of the attendees are customers, but we may have some folks that are new to Jeeves. I just want to take a couple minutes to explain what it is and our vision for Jeeves before we dive into the new features. Simply put, Jeeves is an AI-powered learning platform designed to solve two key challenges. First, helping your training teams create engaging, high-quality content faster than ever before. And second, making sure your learners can instantly find and use the content right when they need it. The platform is built on four powerful pillars. First is AI-first content creation. And our motto here is record once, create fast, edit smart, and engage better. And this means you can record a single video and let Jeeves' AI help you automatically generate captions, remove filler words like ums and ahs, and instantly create tip sheets with screenshots already embedded. Second is content promotion. And great content is only effective if it reaches people at the right time. And so Jeeves allows you to deliver targeted training from assignments to policy updates across email, Microsoft Teams, and directly within the app itself, all from one central place. Third is content discovery. And we make it easy for learners to find exactly what they need in the format that works best for them. And our AI-assisted search, personalized recommendations, and easy-to-use filters shortens the time it takes for them to find knowledge and get back to work. And finally, our fourth pillar is insights. Jeeves provides deep, actionable insights on which content is most effective and how your learners are progressing. And this allows you to see what's working, fix what isn't, and prove the ROI of your training efforts. So when you put it all together, Jeeves is a modern end-to-end solution from AI-powered creation and omnichannel delivery to personalized discovery and data-backed insights. So today, we're going to focus on some of the major new upgrades we've made, especially within the content creation and our powerful new assignment system, which is key part of the content promotion pillar. So what was the motivation behind these updates? First, it's your feedback. We are taking your feedback on a regular basis, and we are incorporating those into our roadmap and prioritizing those based on the feedback that our customers are providing. Second, it's about accelerating content creation within AI-driven automation, enabling reusable, adaptable assignments for recurring needs like onboarding, compliance, etc. And then empowering admins with more granularity in the controls, such as asset expiration, as well as related content suggestions and previews and more. And so now let's dive into some of these improvements. And as Mate mentioned, as we're going through here, please feel free to put into the Q&A section any questions that you may have, and we'll be sure to answer those at the end here. So I'm going to start off with smarter asset creation and management. And so those that are using Jeeves, you'll recognize this as our assets page. And I'm going to start with a pre-recorded video that I have here in the editor. You'll notice that it says continue editing, and that's because I just recorded the video and I didn't go through any of the editing process. I simply went back to the assets page. So all of these that say continue editing, they haven't had any editing functionality done on them. So let's jump in. I created a short how-to video. We have a product called Muspel Archive for retaining legacy patient data that also has release of information functionality. And so I created a short video showcasing how to release patient information, and I haven't done any editing on this. We're going to start by showcasing the filler words removal. So this little star icon, if you click on that, I intentionally said throughout the video some ums and ahs, and you can kind of click through and remove them individually, or you can click remove all, and that's going to just splice out the ums and ahs throughout that video. And that's a new update that came previously, but I wanted to highlight it here today. And then we're also going to showcase, so notice that nothing has changed here. We have our closed captioning, which is editable. We have our non-interactive elements and our AI voices. If we haven't called this out before, there is a comments section, and this comes into play with the review process, which I'm going to demonstrate here in a few minutes. From this page, as I mentioned, as you've probably seen, you can also create interactive learnings as well as tip sheets. For today, I'm just going to highlight the tip sheet generator. So if we're done editing this and we click tip sheet, that's going to take us to our tip sheet creator. And just note that at this point, it's telling us what it's doing. So it's going to generate the steps from the transcript that we spoke. And now it's going to take the relevant screenshots from within that video. And that's really going to kind of eliminate a lot of that manual process. Note that if you want to edit the entire tip sheet, you can do so here and change these steps, or you can also edit the images and clicking into that and giving you the chance to annotate some screenshots as well as add step creator, emojis, texts, and other items through your screenshots. When you're done, simply click next and fill out your metadata here. And this is where I have created a health information management category for which we can map this content to, and you can associate expiration dates or other attributes here. We're going to click Save and Process. Notice this has changed. We used to have an option for Publish right here. When I click Save and Process, it's going to show us what's happening with this video. So it doesn't kick you right back to the asset folders. It's going to show you all the steps that are capturing here. If you don't want to wait, that's okay. And you can jump back into the asset folder and let that let that process. So that was on step 3 of 7. It'll be done here in a second, and it shows that it is in the processing state. So let's let that process here. And while we're going through that, I want to showcase that once completed, when it's done processing, I'm going to show you another video. So you'll notice that we don't have the option to publish until it's done processing. This video, on the other hand, which has been done, you can simply publish if you want to do that, or you can go through and assign this. So we've created this new process of workflows. So you can move this through different stages. If you have content creators, but you want someone else to review this content, we've included this option of authoring stage. So you'll notice it's in draft mode. Let me see if that's done processing here. We'll reload that. And if I want to change this to a review status, we can do that. We can create different statuses here, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But let's say we want to assign this to someone else for review, and I want to come in here and select Joel as the next reviewer. When I do that, it simply updates that to Joel. Joel has now received an email that he has an asset that's ready for him to review. And if I wanted to come in here and find assets that Joel is responsible for reviewing, I can simply click Assignee and see all the assets that Joel is set up in the review status. So this is customizable, and I'm going to show how the admins can come in and customize these settings here. So default we have is draft. So for admins, come over to the settings, and you'll notice that we have this authoring stages section. So again, draft is set up by default. For our demo instance, we've created this status of ready for review. And I'm going to add a new stage called research needed. So maybe there's a workflow that somebody recorded and we're not quite sure if that's accurate. So we want to change that to a research needed. We can add a color palette and we can hit add. And now we have just added another field for authoring stage. And if I go back to my assets page, I can change the status. So there's the one that I just created. It's done processing. And let's say I want to change this to research needed. And I want to assign that to Mate, because Mate is the analyst. And I can save that. Mate has now just received an email that this video requires some research, and he can go in and review that and add any comments to that comments section for any changes that might be needed. So a lot of flexibility in the authoring stages that you can create. So we're in the asset management table, and I want to point out some of the columns for you. So note that we have, again, the column of authoring stage. We've also introduced new formats. So you'll see this icon. So the typical icons of video, interactive, system-generated tip sheet, Adobe PDF, and then now these are SCORM courses are also listed here. And then you'll also note these fields are movable. So if you want to come in here, you can select which fields you want. You can move them around and say, we want to move this up here. That moves it left for me. And when I hit save, it's moved that stage. I also want to call out when the video is ready to publish, you simply publish it right here. And then we've also introduced this other concept of activity. So I want to showcase this really quick. There's not going to really be any activity on this one. So let me, but when you do click into there, it's going to show you everything that's happened to this piece of content. And as we create a new version of this content, it'll show V2 for the newest version of this piece of content. So you can track and review all the activity of any content right here with the little hamburger icon here. Also, this is where you can remove any of the other elements. So in this case, we have a video, a microlearning video, an interactive, and a system-generated tip sheet. If I want to remove either of those, I can go through and just simply click that and it'll remove those learning formats for us. All right. One other thing I want to call out is there are some org level settings that really give you control of things like the asset expiration date. So we have introduced that at the org level. So admins have the ability to go in and to the settings section under admin settings, and they can scroll down to asset expiration. So I have it enabled in my environment. And if you remove that, it's going to take away that field of metadata for putting in expiration date. So this is really something that you can make a decision at an organizational level. And we think it's great to have expiration dates. It helps you keep content current, but that's an organizational decision. Do note though that if I do look at a metadata of any piece of content, so if you toggle that off, the expiration date goes away. But if I do keep this, let me jump over to metadata. Oops, I got to do edit. When we jump over to the metadata, it's going to give me that field as optional. So it's not going to mandatorily require us to list the expiration date here. So when it's enabled, that field will appear. And when it's disabled, that field is not required and it will not show up. But we have also introduced a tag for those that do enable the expiration date. So if you have any content in the published state that is set to expire soon, you can see a little tag showing the expiring soon. And this is going to show up for any piece of content that is within 2 weeks of its expiration date. And that helps you, again, manage current content and make sure that anything that is set to expire doesn't slip into the archive and become unsearchable for your end users. And then one other piece I want to kind of call out from a learner perspective is learners have the ability to control what they see in their instance. So if I jump into a video, this is a learner setting, is if they turn transcripts on, the next time they come into this video, this is going to be on. If they turn it off, it's just going to hide it to the side. And that's really at a learner level. Also, you'll notice we cleaned up this screen a lot from the learner's view. We've moved some of the icons from the bottom over to the side here, so they still have the option to share, to bookmark. They can download if you have that enabled, thumbs up, thumbs down, and submit feedback. All right, so we're going to skip to the next section, which is in assignments. And if there's any questions around what I just demonstrated here, we'll make sure to answer those at the end for you. So we're really excited about assignments and the enhancements we've made here. So let me start with, you'll notice when you come into assignments, this view has changed a lot. And really what we've wanted to do is make assignments reusable that you can create once, edit them, create batches of people that get the assignment. And so we're going to kind of demonstrate a lot of that for you here today. So I'm going to create an assignment, and bear with me here. So we simply click create assignment. So now you're going to notice we have an assignment description section. So that is where I'm going to drop in, and this is going to inform the learner what this assignment is about. We're going to give the assignment a title. We're going to call this Tools and Techniques for EHR Success. So drop an assignment title up in here. And then we have the option to create different sections. So section 1 is going to be about understanding tools at your fingertips. And then within this, I want to incorporate different assets. So we go to our add asset screen, and I've got a few things that I want to add here specifically. I could type well, product presentation. So we're going to click this and we're going to add that to section 1. We're also going to add the Muspel archive demo. And you'll notice this piece of content has multiple learning formats. And what we've done is we've given you the ability to select which format you like your end user to learn from. In this case, I just want them to view a video. So we're going to remove the interactive and the tip sheet. And then last, I'm going to give a quick description of what this section is about. And again, this informs your user what they're learning. Move my controls here. So when we're done with this section, let's create another section. So maybe this is a second section of a longer course. So we're going to say this one is working smarter every day. Oops. And we're going to add a few assets here. We're going to add a SCORM course. We're going to add setting goals. So now I've added a SCORM course, and we're going to add another video. And we're building out a course here that we can use to send to different groups of users. So we're going to add the description in here, and we're going to be done. And we're going to hit save and preview. And when you save, it's saved. So note that you don't have to go directly to assign. You can follow the breadcrumbs here and go back to any section, or you can come right back to the main assignments page, or you can walk through and preview what this assignment looks like. So if I click down here, it's going to show me each section. It's going to show me what the description is going to display for my end users, and then which assets are in each section. So it's really just giving me a preview of the whole course that we've created. And I can go through and review each section, or I can assign directly from here. But again, I'm just going to say, you know what, I've created it. It's not assigned yet. And let's walk through that process right now of assigning. So one thing I want to call out, we didn't have the ability to edit things in the past, and we can do that now. Simply come in and click edit, and you can make changes to your assignment here. So let's assign. Let's walk through this process of assigning. We can either click in there and then hit assign, or we can simply go to the person icon. And we've given you the ability to create this course and then assign it in multiple batches. So maybe you have a group of new hires that come on in July, and they are batch 1. So let's call that July new hires. And we want them to complete this by July 15th. And now we can come in here and we can individually add users. Let's just add me. Let's add Joel. Let's add Mate. And I can go through, I can select all those users, and I can create this batch. And now that has been assigned to those users. They would have gotten an email, and when they open this, it's going to showcase the instructions on what this course is about, and it's going to walk them through the lesson. We've also introduced these icons here that show of all these users where they are in the process. So obviously we just created this, so 3 users have not started, nobody's in progress, and nobody's completed this. Now let's say I want to reuse this same assignment, but let's say first, before that, you know what, something else has been introduced and I need to add that to my assignment. So if I were to come in here and edit this and say I want to add another asset to this section, let's just take this one right here. I can save And now there's 5 assets in there. And because Joel, Casey, and Mate haven't started this, it's updated that in their assignments section. So where is that? Did I assign it to myself? It'll update in their section. So it'll showcase that um, that there's something new in their course that they have to complete. If they've completed it and we edit this assignment, the folks that have completed it will not receive the latest information. So that is one call out that we need to make sure that you're aware of. So let's go through and create another batch. So we've had July new hires, and now we've got a new group of hires, and we want to send this same course. So we can create a new batch. We'll call this August new hires. And we'll give them a due date of August 15th. So we're giving them 2 weeks to complete this. Here, I want to highlight that while I showed you we can manually search for individual users, we can also use this advanced selection. And so what I'd like to do here is assign this to a group of users based on criteria. We've created a user list, and this is something you can manually create, or you can use fields from your extract files that can filter down by different user types. But we'll go through, we'll create this by this group here, and we're going to find all those users. It pulls up everybody in that group, and I'm going to assign those users to batch 2. And then I'm going to, yep, advanced, and add users. There we go. And then we're going to create that batch. And now those users just got an email, and that's a separate set of users that will get the same assignment and have a different due date that you can then track separately from the group here. And you can always go back. So let's say we want to track the whole. We can also look at everybody so this is going to show all the batches, or we can click in, in the status of all the batches, or we can click in and look at each batch individually from a status perspective on completions. And then if we click into the assignment itself from that batch, we can show exactly what the progress is on each of those users. All right. I do want to do a call out here. We're going to say assign, we're going to create a user list, or my apologies. So one call out is if we had somebody, let me go to another assignment here and demonstrate something here. I can see here that we've had users complete this training, right? And if I were to create a new batch, so let's say I want to create a new batch, and I can see I still have 11 people that have completed this, and I want to use that same dynamic search of that team Bangalore. When I do this search, it's gonna highlight a few people. These are the folks that have completed it. So if I were to select all, it's going to not select the people that have completed, and not select the people that are in progress. So if I want to, I can also skip users that have previously completed, or skip users that have been assigned after a certain date. So if I set a date, maybe this was assigned back in June, and say skip all the users that have been assigned. So this is really going to give you some flexibility to reassign or use dynamic searches to find groups of people, but exclude those that have already completed the assignments or have already been assigned it after a certain date. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in how you publish out assignments. So speaking of assets or user lists, let's jump into the user list screen. And this is really where you have the ability to create static lists, which are you set it once and they stay the same, or dynamic lists, which you can create using criteria. So let's create a dynamic list, and this is where you can, at the departmental level, have users that maybe want to have a criteria. Let's call it. We'll create urologists, and we're going to do based on criteria. And so we're going to create this list. And what we want to do is set the criteria for which users it's going to pull. So I hit set criteria, and I'm going to go into department, and we want to use urology. So we want everybody with this department to be in this list. So I'm going to save criteria, and that's going to populate the users that are in that department. And those are the two folks in our demo environment that have this this department mapped to them. And so then later, maybe a month later, we were to come in here and dynamically search this. We can come in, and if I refresh, it's going to show me any new employees that have come in under this department that can be part of that user list. So we do have to come in and refresh that. We are working on some automation around that, just becoming a system level setting that you can automate that updating. All right. So lastly, I want to talk about tracking and management. So return to the main. Um, so I've already kind of showcased the individual learner progress. So if I jump in here, we can see everybody that has completed and what the status is of their assignments. I do want to kind of call out that users will automatically get notifications about assignments. 14 days before they're due, 7 days before they're due, and 1 day before the assignment is due. And those emails can be customized in the notifications settings. So admins, you have the ability to come into the settings, navigate up here to notification templates, and all of these templates are what we've created as default, and you have the ability to come in and make any changes to these. So if you, I'm sorry, 15 days. If you want to come in and change how this is worded, you can simply do so by editing and then going through and writing it out however you like. And these areas you can select using the placeholder. So that's going to insert the learner's first name and last name, assignment specific things. So you can edit this really just using this table here. And there's other sections that you can edit within this. And so this is the email notifications, the in-app notifications, and if you set up a Microsoft Teams, we can make those changes here. Since we're in the admin settings, there's one other thing I want to highlight is relevant to the user. There's two things I guess I want to highlight is this personalized suggestions in the asset preview. If you toggle this on, when a user searches a video or a tip sheet, below that, it's going to demonstrate, well, I'll just do that here. It's going to give me some height. Oh, we have it toggled off. So there's no clutter underneath here. You don't see any suggested other content. It's just the video. Now, if you were to go in and toggle that to show, personalize, and please note, I always do this. If you forget, I got to hit save. Now, when I go in and do a search and look at a piece of content, and it might only happen when you search for something, but there we go. So it's going to show based on recent views. It's going to give me some other suggestions. So you can turn this on and turn this off. I know some customers have asked for a cleaner view for end users when reviewing different pieces of content. And so I like it cleaner, so I'm going to turn it off. And then one other setting here that an admin can make is for assignments, the default or the minimum that we require folks to watch a video is 50%. You can go all the way up to 100%, and you can customize this. So if you want If you require them to watch 100% of the video, you can set that at 100%. And if you want to disable fast forwarding, meaning they can't just like cheat and jump ahead, you simply click that and it's going to require them to watch that. They can go backwards, but they won't be able to fast forward. So this is my demo environment. So I like to keep it a little easier for me to navigate here. All right, so those are some of the exciting changes that we've made with the assignments section. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions around that, but we're really excited about the flexibility that we're giving you all to create and reuse assignments and really republish those and then manage those. So the last big update we want to talk about today is SCORM courses and how those are now discoverable and trackable in Jeeves. So you may have noticed before there was a section called courses, and that was really just a repository to store SCORM courses, and they were not discoverable by learners. They were just assignable in assignments. And we've made those discoverable now. So if I were to search for, let's just do wellness, because I know I have an e-learning, it's going to show me, there is a SCORM course available that I can review if I would like to. And I can still also send this to someone. So if I copy that link, drop it in an email and send it, it's going to refer them to this course in Jeeves. And so we can review SCORM directly within Jeeves. We can walk through an entire course here, and we can track analytics around consumption of those assets. So let me jump to the analytics section. I'm going to show assets, and we're going to show, we'll just show this month. And if I view, it's going to show me that I've had 6 views just today on this SCORM course in Jeeves. So we can track now consumption of courses or views of courses in the analytics section. And that is the major updates for today. We've actually wrapped things up pretty quickly here, so I'm going to leave a lot of room and time for questions. And Anashil, do you want to highlight any questions that we have today?
Yeah, sure. There are a lot of questions, so I'll try to take one by one. Am I audible?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. So one question came: if you send a user the incorrect assignment or batch, is there a way to go back and delete it from the user? Yes, you can go to the batch and remove any user who is not completed. Once someone completes the assignment, then you can't remove them for tracking point of view, but you can delete if they are yet to complete. So Casey, you can click on top right edit. Yes. And from here, you can delete users, add more users, whatever you want, you can do it.
All right.
Okay, let me take you more. Are you able to be more specific with your criteria? For example, can you make criteria urology, RNs, and not include the provider? So you can have as complex logic as possible whenever you do advances, either for creating the list or to select user for assignment. So it can be very complex. A lot of power is given there. You can also select things like, let's say, give me all the users who have completed this particular assignment. Maybe there is a use case, let's say, that whoever completed assignment 1 and you want to assign them assignment 2, so you can actually do that as well. So yeah, that is possible.
So the question is more around the flexibility of the criteria. Is that the general gist of the question? Okay.
So can you select department? Let's do department. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, department. Select some department, and then you can add more rules to it.
So if I want to
add one,
the department equals sales. I can add a rule, and this is
Yes,
an
and
this is an and criteria.
yeah,
And say assignment, and this is going to list the specific assignments. We can add a sub rule to this and say status equals not started. And so actually, I think this might not pull because I didn't do the list, but yeah, we can create that criteria and hit save and pull that up, and that'll generate. I don't think I I manually selected myself, Joel, and Mate and Nick, and so we weren't associated with the department. So if I delete this, it should show the 3 of us or 4 of us here. If
yeah,
I'm not.
so actually it takes time sometimes, because if the more complex the criteria, because we've run it behind and try to find that cohort. So, but yeah, having said that, we have all the possibility here, and you can do as you want. Okay,
Yeah.
let me take a few more.
Notice that you can do not ands and ors, and these are grouped by groupings. So if I want to add another group, so it's going to take this criteria and this criteria. And if I want to say or, so it's going to do this criteria or this criteria. So you can really kind of play with those filters on your end to with very specific lists.
Another question, if we, what is the difference between editing an assignment versus creating a new one? When to use what? So this is very interesting, and this is one of the things which we have done. So let's say you have a assignment for onboarding purpose, right? And after 3 months, you want to add new asset to that particular assignment, right? So when to use edit versus when to create a new assignment. So if you want a continuity of your report, for example, I want to see in last 2 years who all took this assignment. It's always beneficial to use edit because it will be under one assignment, and you can just see the report in one go. But if you duplicate it and create multiple assignments, then you need to manually compile the report. So that's why edit gives you that functionality on a longevity of that particular assignment and the tracking of that particular assignment over time again and again. So even if asset changes, you don't need to create a new assignment. So that's the use case majorly you should look for. Okay. Let me see that. So there's a couple of questions related to tip sheet template. This is something which we don't have right now. We are in we are building a whole template builder where you can create a very complex template for tip sheets, not only for header and footer, but also the entire content. Currently, if you see the automated tip sheet follows like step and screenshot, but going forward, maybe 9.4, we'll have something where you can just create a free flowing document. All the capabilities, everything will be there in that whole tip sheet creator. So that is something which is coming up. Casey, let me know if you find interesting when I can answer anything specific. I'm going through it.
I have heard this question on calls, is the ability to stitch different videos
Yeah.
together. Is that planned for
Correct. It is there. Though what we have seen when we are doing the product research for stitching videos, it's more majorly intros and outros clip which people want to add. So currently we are working on that whole AI generated intro and outro. So maybe we'll give a prompt and it will automatically create a intro clip which will have maybe a good title and some small description about the video. So every video will start with the intro slide kind of clip. So that is something which we are working. Merging two different recording. It is little below the priority list for us right now because we haven't got a lot of requirement related to when we are doing the product research. But intro and outro AI generated is something coming very soon.
All right, this is a good question. Can I assign content? Can I assign a content asset to someone for review, even if they are not an author? So I think that question is really, can I assign it to a learner who might be an SME? And correct me if I'm wrong, but only those that have author, publisher, and admin can be assigned assets.
Yeah, you are perfectly right. You can't assign an asset to anyone who is learner or not part of Jeeves. Only admin, publisher, and authors can review this asset.
So in order to have a learner's profile changed, you'd have to come into their profile here in the manage user section, and then edit their or update their role from author to, or add them as an admin, author, or learner, or publisher. And that can be temporary, where you do that for, ask them to do that and then change them back to a learner. But yeah, that is only available to those that have this administrative functionality within Jeeves, because your learners do not see these options. They only have the search functionality.
Okay. One very interesting question I can see. So, okay, I can't pronounce the name, but s- question is, can they stop courses from getting searched? Uh, and it's a valid ask. Right now, you can't stop. All the courses from files will be searchable, but in next release, we are coming up with 3 levels of discovery. Level one is search, where anyone can search it. Level two is only explore. That means you can use browse and then see all the topics, all the category related asset. And third is it is only promotable. That means it is only assignable. So even for any asset, you can define the discovery level, and these will be 3 levels which will be available in next release. Someone asked what is Scrum. Scrum is a course format. If you are using any course creator, Articulate, Captivate, you can create a course there and export from there and put it in Jeeves for your or any LMS, so to say. So Scrum is just a reusable course format which works across software. So Jeeves support uh, importing Scrums right now.
All right. Can I reassign an updated asset to learners who completed an older?
Yes, you can.
So the question sounds to me like, let me go back here. Actually, if I have assigned, if I want to say, so they've already completed this video, but there's a new video. Can I reassign an updated asset to that learner? And I think the answer is yes, if they haven't completed the whole assignment, but no if they have completed the assignment. Is that a correct statement?
Yes. So if you update the content of any assignment, anyone who is in progress or yet to start, they will always see the new content. The one who completed it, they will not see because they have completed it. But what you can do is you can quickly create another assignment with just the one particular updated asset, and you can create a batch saying whoever is completed this particular assignment, we just need to take one more asset as a separate assignment. So that flexibility is there.
All right. So I want to go back to the question about criteria, because I don't think we answered that necessarily completely for Daphne. So she gave an example of, can you make the criteria just urology RNs and not include the providers? Is that
Yeah, we can do that. We have a very robust advanced search. You can set up complex scenarios, not or all those things. You can select list of different user template. So yeah, this is possible. The only difference is it might take a little more time, but yeah, you can set as complex criteria as possible.
So what you're saying is, let's do, you set that criteria. What we need to look at is their user template, because that's going to say what those what they're logged in at least in Epic. Is that correct?
Yes, totally correct. So this whole information comes from Epic Extract. Every day we run a sync between Epic and Jeeves. So if there's any change in user template or role, you will get it every next day. So this is a very up-to-date data. It it's part of the integration. So during the integration phase, Ankush or maybe someone else will help you with this integration. But yeah, this data comes from Epic.
Excellent. I do want to call out that if you have any questions, you can email us at support@okjeeves.com. You can always submit on the bottom left here. We've moved the feedback button from the right side. So there used to be a feedback button here to the bottom left. And when you click that, it will screenshot your screen. And you can also select, are you submitting an improvement, a bug, a new feature request, or a task? And so if you have a task, question, you can do that. A feature request, we'd love to hear from you, or an improvement to a section. And so that's something that you can submit that's going to go to our support team, and they will respond directly to you via email. All right, let's look at a few.
I guess I can take one last very interesting question. So, question is, can we replace our existing LMS with Jeeves? Uh, I will love to say yes, but I can call out few of the things. So, LMS is not about only assignment, onboarding, and compliance, but there are a lot more things in LMS like quizzes, assessment, where someone will need to take a set of questions, answer it, and you can see each user what they have done so far. So those things are right now missing, but we are working on it. So it depends on how you are using your current LMS. So if your current LMS is all about figuring out what I said and assigning it, and they immediately need to take that assignment or complete those assets, then yes, you can use Jeeves as an LMS even now. But yeah, few things are coming up in future release, which will make it fully an LMS. So yeah, that is something which is on the roadmap.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of attributes of an LMS, but not a complete full-blown LMS here. There is a question confirming they will see education material relevant to their job selection when logging in. Great question. That is a organizational decision as to how we configure your environment when we've set you up. So admins have the ability to go into categories and mapping, where we can map your so we have your categories, right? So you can manage any categories you want. So all your content lives within each of these categories or gets tagged with a category. And that can be then mapped to as user record templates. So how they're logged into the EMR. And so if we want to associate categories to different logins, that's what we would do. We come in here, and you can do this on your end, is really just associate the categories to the user templates. And when they log in as that template, they'll see everything, that has those category tags. They always have the ability to use filters to expand that, but that is how we have it set up for those that want to map content directly to.
Casey, do we have time? I have a few more questions.
We have just a few minutes, so go ahead. Yep.
Sure. Okay, so one question is what new capabilities are coming related to editing, video editing, or asset editing overall? So one thing which we are experimenting and our focus is always into how we can use more of AI for editing instead of just giving features for authors to do it manually. So one of the things which we are experimenting it, we already have a beta version of that whole tool is you can edit the image just by a click. So let's say currently we create screenshots automatically, right? But there will be one more button which is like auto annotate this all the images, right? So in that case, what will happen? AI will figure out the step, what the step is saying, and it will uh, read the image, scan the image, and it will put all the highlights there itself. Uh, Case it is not enabled for this environment. It is still in beta.
Okay.
So yeah, it will automatically add a call out, text, highlight, all those things. It will happen automatically. So this is something which we are experimenting with. And even one more thing which I'm very excited about when it comes to editing. So when we record a micro learning, right? Generally, we click on certain button explaining the workflow. What we are now giving capability is while your mouse moves or goes to a particular button, it will automatically zoom into that part of the video. So again, that is also something which first will come without AI, and next it will come with AI, where it will automatically figure out where you clicked and it will automatically zoom that part in. So a lot of things are coming up. Again, the focus is always to use more of AI so that you don't need to spend a lot of time doing editing and all those things. Yeah, these are the things which are in pipeline.
That's excellent. Excited to see that. There was a question around enforcing a mandatory flow when it comes to governing assets, such as first it's draft mode, then it goes to ready for review, and then ready to publish. Currently, I believe this is really just more of a manual kind of process that needs to be governed at the organizational level and not through Jeeves. But I think what folks are asking is, hey, you can't get to this publish until it's gone through these steps. I think that's the nature of that question.
Yeah. So we don't have a very strict workflow currently. It is mostly up to the team to decide what workflow they want to follow. And we have an activity log where you can see who published it and all those things. So currently we are keeping it flexible and letting team manage it on their own. And all these stages are very self-explanatory stages. So I guess it should work. But yeah, if everyone feels that we need to have a very strict workflow, we can build it. But so far, there's no plan to build a very strict workflow. Just we are keeping it little flexible.
Excellent.
We have a question from Robin. Can
Yep.
you make interactive learning default when one is created? You can, so when you create any format, be it tip sheet or interactive learning, when users search on their own or explore an asset on their own, then they will have an option to choose between which learning format they prefer. But during assignment, when you are assigning it, or basically when you are promoting the asset or pushing the asset to the learner, that time you can control it. That okay, I only want interactive learning, and that's what we have figured out that while promotion, while assignment, locking in the learning format is a better use case. And for explore or search, all this where user is discovering asset on their own, in that case, let them learn uh, whatever is their favorite learning format. For me, tip sheet is the most favorite one because I can quickly jump between steps. So yeah, so their learner will have a choice, but if
You
for
users
assignment, you can enforce.
Correct. And users can click this icon and that'll take them right to the interactive. But as Anashil said, they have the ability to click through we are video first, so everything is built off of the microlearning, which is why that really kind of defaults for us. So a lot of great interaction, a lot of great questions. If there are other questions that we have not answered for you today, again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@okjeeves.com, or you can use the icon down here and submit any feature enhancements or questions you may have. Really excited about these changes today. We thank everyone for joining us, and we look forward to having further conversations with you all. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you all.